Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Kiki and today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Andromeda 6. I'm actually really excited to find out how this game develops, how the story develops, because this game is actually very interesting. In my last video, you can check that out in the description. One of the developers actually commented on my video and I felt so honored. Like, I really appreciate that. Her name is Aria and she did some of the art for the game, and oh my god, when I saw her comment I was very excited. It actually feels so good to get in touch with one of the developers, and she actually gave me some information about the Telari, which are this species over here who is Rayona, the medic on the ship. She's actually Telari, and I used to think that basically all of the Telari species are with blue skin and white hair, but actually their skin can come in multiple different colors, but they're all like pastel toned. So that's very cool. She gave me a little bit of you know, the lore on how a Telari actually look. So yeah, that's interesting. So let's continue our playthrough of the game. And last time it was a very interesting sort of shift in the story, since we were saved by Juniper, who is the weapons technician on Andromeda 6. We weren't doing anything, like we were just recovering from our injuries, and basically he was the one who saved us from a sort of destruction, like some kind of bridge collapsed, I believe. And we were saved by Juniper, and we found out that the crew of the Andromeda 6 has a bounty on their heads. And now that we have pretty much recovered, we're going to have to start working for Damon. So maybe help him around the ship, help him with his duties, and yeah, just so we can like pull our own weight and not be a burden on the crew. And basically we don't remember anything. We don't remember anything besides our name. We don't know where we are, I mean, we don't know where we come from, and we don't know basically what's going on, which is a very scary thing to go through, I'm sure. So let's continue, and I stopped abruptly, the shock hitting me like a brick wall. And that is where we left off on the previous episode, and we say, that's what you all are, mercenaries. If you're good at something, people pay you to do it, and I'm very good at what I do, Damon says. He almost spurs that last part, and I have to swat him away just to get rid of the stupid smirk on his face. And you got a problem with it? There's the door. Oh, he's being like very stern all of a sudden. He waves a dismissive hand, and I almost wonder if he wants me to get up and walk away. And all I've ever known of mercenaries has been tainted with preconception. Hired guns no better than space pirates whose mercilessness knows no bounds. And Damon and even Calderon fit the bill pretty well enough, but when I think of the others, June and Rayona especially, I can't help but wonder if they are not all that Damon is making them out to be. And I don't have a problem, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, that's all. But I can't imagine myself killing anyone with a spoon. What kind of things would you really have me do? You don't have to do anything yet. But aren't I supposed to... What you're supposed to do is not be a nuisance and sit here like a good little pet while I go get another drink. Oh my god. He's being very like flirtatious. But I guess like this is a dating game, and it actually differs a lot from other dating games that I've actually seen like on the market, because others are more focused on the dating, and so far we really have been sort of developing our understanding of the story so far, and it's very interesting. And once again, the art style is really like right up my alley. I really enjoy this kind of art style. So I glare at him, watching his back as he moves a little further down the bar to signal the bartender. Hey pretty one, let me buy you a drink. My attention shifts to the man who's sidled up beside me, far too close for comfort. He's human by the looks of things, though 2/3 of his face and both arms have been replaced by bionics, and his voice has a strange metallic echo to it. His eyes focus on me, both of them glowing an eerie neon green, and it takes me a few moments to compose myself and wave a hand in front of me. No, thank you. I've barely turned away when a cold metal hand grabs my arm and almost yanks me completely off my seat. I let out a yelp, surprised by the sudden heat of his breath on the side of my face. I wasn't giving you a choice. No one says no to me around here. Oof. Oh, that's very disturbing. And if you wanted to invite someone else to join us, xiki, you could have just asked. My heart skips a beat when Damon's arm snakes around my waist, pulling me closer against the warmth of his body and holding me tight. I'm frozen in place, the sound of my heart pounding in my ears as I blink at Damon dumbly, too stunned to move. What are you? Oh, I see what's happening here. You were going to run off with this fine metallic gentleman and leave me all alone, weren't you? Damon's tone is mocking, and when his eyes fall upon the stranger in front of us, all humor drains from his face. You still have that blade I gave you earlier, yes? Why don't you just go and handle this one yourself, sweetheart? I'm not going to stab someone, I only took it for protection. Protection from this... oh, from this guy counts. I don't think it does, Damon, and besides... The man interrupts, waving a can in front of my face, his wide eyes terrified. Did you just call your boyfriend Damon? He's not my... well, he's kind of becoming our boyfriend. She did. And the color drains from what's left of his face, his mouth hanging agape for a few moments before he manages to stutter and speak again. As in Reznor. I don't go by that name anymore. Oh, look at his face. He doesn't like being called that. In the shadows that cloud Damon's face send a shiver through me. Letting out a low whistle, the stranger backs up a few steps, his hands held in front of him protectively. I'm sorry, Rez, sir. Didn't know this one was taken. It shouldn't matter if this one is taken or not. No means no, you piece of crap. This time I'm positive the man whimpered before mumbling another apology and scampering away. I watch until he disappears in the crowd, out of sight, and Damon lets out a frustrated breath beside me. Dirty no-good scumbag. Who the F does he think he is, calling me that? Ask about his name, don't ask him, and thank him. We should thank him, definitely thank him. And despite not being the biggest fan of how he helped, I can't deny he did help. And it doesn't seem like he particularly wants to talk about that either. Thanks for the help. And you didn't give me much of a choice when you decided to hang out with the sleaziest creature in this place. And who was that? I remember why I walked out on him now. It's really as if I never did tell you not to wander on your own. Anyway, you should know better than to talk to strangers here. I didn't think that you cared. That's what we say. But actually, I think Damon must have a soft side. He does act like a little, you know, edgy and sort of larger than life in some sense. But I think he has a very soft side, which kind of makes me think that maybe June, who is like the sweetest out of the guys, maybe June has like a bad side, because I didn't mean to see that. I saw that on Tumblr, because I do have a Tumblr. You can follow me on there if you would like. I'll leave my Tumblr name on the screen right now. I saw June's eyes were like very green, like they were glowing in that neon green. She had a pretty scary face going on. So yeah, I think June may have a bad side and Damon may have like a good side. I really am not sure. I guess we're gonna find out as the story sort of develops even more. So let's continue. That was before you became my bloody responsibility. Have I thanked you for that yet? Because thank you so much. If you can't already tell, I'm thrilled. And I gave him a withering glare, thoroughly unimpressed with his sarcasm. Just don't go picking up any more strangers in bars and we'll be just peachy. Well, either way, you helped. And I think you might just be warming up to me after all. You wish, newbie. I'm going to take a walk around. It's getting a little warm around here. Don't get into any trouble without me. I'm not going to be your knight in shining armor every time you need rescuing. I think you're more of a thief than a knight. Can't argue with that. Of course. And see you around, xiki. And turning away from the bar, I'm drawn to the shouts floating my way from the room at the back of the club. followed by a round of cheers. And I make my way through the crowd, sliding around a dark and dodgy looking dance floor before I push aside the curtain to the room and freeze. Oh, Aya, please come down from there, you're going to break something. Lighten up, will you? The only thing I'm breaking is hearts. Oh no. What is? Surveying the scene in front of me, it doesn't take long for realization to dawn, and with the shock of what exactly is going down. Guys, this is a strip club. This is a very, very erotic club. Yeah. Hidden at the back of the club behind a dirty red curtain and a crowd of sleazy patrons is a strip club. I would say that I'm surprised, but after meeting Oppo earlier, I'm really not. And I joined June beside the stage, distracting him from trying to coax Aya down for a mere moment when I cross my arms over my chest and give him a pointed look. I didn't take you for the strip club type, and what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna say the first one. I didn't think this was your kind of scene, if you know what I mean. And June, look at his face. I know perfectly well, but it's complicated. I'm not judging you, to each their own. No, but a small smile tugs at my lips and June chuckles, realizing I'm only teasing him. And oh yeah, make it rain, puppy. Oh my god. Sighing, June nods towards the stage. As I'm sure you can tell, Aya likes dancing. When I turn to the stage, it all starts to make sense. The one getting all the cheers from the crowd is Ayame. And oh my god, look at her, it's so much fun. Grandpa June down. So their eyes lock each other, unflinching, interrupted only when Aya twirls around the pole, her face appearing a mere moment later to continue the glaring match. I wring my hands in front of me awkwardly, thinking this is probably a good time to intervene and defuse the situation. I agree with June, or Aya is right. I think we should agree with June. Because it's dangerous, like this is one of the most dangerous planets as far as we know so far. And how would we get out of here if our pilot falls down and hits her head and forgets how to fly a ship? And Aya straightens up, crossing one arm over her chest unhappily, crossing her arms over her chest unhappily and narrowing her eyes into slits of vivid violet. Oh, not you too, and here I thought you were fun. It's not about being fun, we just worry about you. Why don't you come down here and we can go get a drink or something. And yeah, right, we don't need another pair of party poopers hanging around when we already have Calderon, who, might I add, can pilot the ship just as well as I can in case of an emergency. Well, not as well as me, but you know what I mean. Ayame sighs heavily, then her lips twist into a grin that is positively demonic as she looks down at us. And I'll let it slide this time, Kiki. I've seen the googly eyes you've been making at June all day, and it's all natural you would side with him, right? He thrushes up my neck so fiercely I wonder if I've been burnt. When I spare a glance at June, it's to find his own face is just as flushed as mine. I narrow my eyes at Aya, trying to murder her with my stare. Whatever, I know you're just jealous of my amazing pole skills. Don't worry, I can give you a private show for some other time. Oh my god. And with another one of her bubbly laughs, Aya grabs the pole and returns to twirling and dancing at the request of the gathering crowd, while I do nothing but stare after her dumbly. Don't mind her, she's all bark and no bite. Come on, let's find a seat and keep an eye on her from a distance. June takes me by the hand, gently guiding me through the crowd into an empty, darkened booth into the corner of the room. The air is cooler here, and I take a deep breath, grateful to escape the stiffness of the crowd around the stage. And when I choose a side to sit down, June takes a seat beside me instead of sitting opposite, his shoulders brushing against mine. His hand still clasps mine, almost unknowingly, and I can't help but smile at how protective he is of everyone in the crew. And entwine our fingers, or hold still, or let his hand go. We should entwine our fingers, maybe. I take the chance to entwine our fingers, holding tight to the warmth of his hand and feeling the hard ridge of colored skin beneath my fingertips. June blinks at me a couple of times, taking a moment to register the action. A lazy grin slowly slides onto his lips and he squeezes my hand, keeping them clasped beneath the table and out of sight. I can't hold back the shiver that runs through me. We are close, very close, and his breath brushes against my skin when he turns to speak, and when I finally look up from our intertwined fingers, I can do nothing but lose myself with those fathomless grey eyes. And Kiki? A loud cheer and a shout break whatever spell we're under, and when my gaze snaps to the source, it's fine that Aya has pulled some poor soul up onto the stage with her, the two of them spinning around the pole at an alarming speed. Guess she's still a hit with them. Should she really be doing that? It looks dangerous. And I'm not sure I could ever pull it off anyway. I wouldn't complain if you decided to give it a try. Just not in front of all those people. My cheeks heat and I'm pretty sure our blushes are a perfect match. Luckily, the corner we've chosen to sit in is dimly lit, so here's to hoping he doesn't notice just how flushed my skin is. And forcing myself to pull my hands from his, I try to clear my head, shifting my attention back to Aya. And she's totally wild, isn't she? You can say that again. Aya is, well, she's been through a lot. I don't blame her for loosening up from time to time. But someone has to watch out for her when Calderon isn't around, and tonight I'm on Aya duty. They're close, aren't they, Aya and Calderon? They were in the guard together. When Calderon was exiled from Goldis, Aya followed him. They've been inseparable ever since. I blinked dumbly. The two of them are at each other's throats more often than not. It's obvious that they're close, but I never knew exactly how deep their history ran. Ayama left the guard for Calderon. June rubs the back of his neck anxiously, looking towards the stage. It's a complicated story and not mine to tell. Sensing a shift in the conversation, I decided I should probably steer it back into safer waters. And let's talk about you then. About me. Don't you need someone to look after you when you need to loosen up? June looks away, but not quick enough that I don't see the pain clouding those gentle eyes. I don't loosen up. He's been through a lot too. I suspect that every member of the A6 has a story to tell. If you ever need to, I'm here for you. I put my hand over his, trying to make him see that despite having just met, there's a connection between us that I can't ignore. And when his hand flips over and he squeezes mine in response, a shiver runs through me. The warmth of his skin seeps into mine, almost as if his touch were warming me from the inside out. Thank you, but don't need to lose your light over me. That he knows Telari's skin loses its glow and our feelings darken impresses me. This man never ceases to surprise me. Also, that is very interesting. So, Telari's skin loses its glow and our feelings darken. Wow, that's kind of very impressive. It really is. And June's earnest smile makes my heart tighten. To help him, especially after everything he's done for me since I woke up. How are you, a mercenary? Or tell me something about you. I think we should say tell me something about you. You already know pretty much all I know about me. I think it's time to tell me something about you. Do I though? Maybe. But I do know very little about you. You're right, you don't. Not many people do, to be honest. The way his bright smile faded so suddenly felt as if the stars had all faded too. I hardly know the man, but he's just too nice to me. I should know more about him. He even agreed to keep an eye out for me while we're here, and he had no obligation to do that. He's been by my side whenever I needed him, and I don't have to first clue on how to thank him for that. I feel like now it's my turn to do something for him. Getting to know him better sounds like a good place to start. Will you tell me more about where you're from, Ryan? He seems a little uneasy, but he agrees with a loud nod, with a nod of his head anyway. What do you want to know about it? Everything along or just yeah, let's learn everything. I don't really know much about it, so everything is welcomed. And sure thing. John shifts in his seat, leaning back to get comfortable, and his arm slides across the top of the seat behind me, and I don't miss the quick of his lips when he notices me noticing. I was born in Orion. It was the first planet humans habited in the system formerly known as Earth 4000. It had a stable environment suitable for agriculture and cohabitation with native wildlife. Despite being a quarter of the size of Earth, it was a good place to start. Unfortunately, its size was what started the problems. The planet became overpopulated, flora and fauna were dwindling at an alarming rate, and the solution they came to was to take those who were willing to pay and move them to Goldus. But what about the natives? Surely life already existed when humans moved to these planets? You're a smart cookie. The leaders of Seliota would have us believe that there were no natives. Two perfect planets existed with no former life, waiting for us to take them. And then we discovered Terranium and Cursa after that. Humans worked with Kitalphans, eventually subjecting them to their rule, and with Arkno habitable only by the Arknos, only one alien stronghold remained. Telaran. June makes a face, a kind of grimace, and I can't quite tell what his thoughts are on all of this. But what happened to the natives? Where are they now? Extinct would be my best guess. Destruction is human nature. Why would this be any different? The mining business was and still is their most profitable sector. Nickel and iron ore. I'm sorry. It's like I haven't played Minecraft, that's right. So, there is one mine where criminals and traders are sentenced to work there, and he struggles with the words, disgust and bitterness lacing his words so thickly I find it harder and harder to distinguish the gentleman beneath. Deep in this mine they discovered a substance. Green metal, something much older and much more dangerous than anything the humans had crafted up until then. Kitalphan scientists, being the best and brightest at the time, turned it into... Sorry about that, my throat is a bit achy. So the thing is, the things they did do to the people in those mines, and nobody did anything to stop it. It should have ended with the destruction of Kitalpha, but still they continued to... June stops, his throat bobbing uncomfortably and his eyes hard. His hand twitches on the table in front of him, knuckles turning white where he clenches them tight, his teeth gritted hard. June? Stop him or let him speak? Oh, we should let him speak. I mean, he obviously feels very passionate about this. He knows this story and it happened like pretty recently. So I think we should let him speak and we're gonna learn more about the story that way. It hurts to know my own species did nothing to stop whatever happened to him. I thought Telari were supposed to be healers. But they need to know I can't stop him now. So what did they do? June lets loose a short breath before responding. It's an enhancer. Fuel, power, whatever you can think of. It increases its potency 100 times over. The mines are a living hell. The substance... I'm sorry about that. The substance is toxic, the fumes are poisonous, yet no one cares. They didn't care what it does to the people, they don't care what they do to the people. I put a hand on his arm, and finally he pulls himself out from whatever hell his past has thrown him in. His eyes glistening with unshed tears, and the rage that filled him just moments ago vanished. So, I'm sorry Kiki, I shouldn't have said that much. I just haven't had anyone to talk to like this in a long time. Hey, no touching, eh-ho. June's head snaps up, the mask of calm collectedness sliding back into place so quickly I can hardly be sure what just happened. I think that's my cue. Aya's continued shouts pull us from the bubble, and from our bubble, and June doesn't seem like he wants to talk about it anymore, so I decide not to push it. But this conversation is far from over. I need to know what has him so shaken up about his home planet. You're not going to get in a fight, are you? And me? No, I'm going to save whoever got on Aya's bad side. She's small, but she's a fighter. You should probably get out of here before things get ugly. Just be careful out there. I wouldn't mind having to save you again, but I like you better when you're awake. A blush creeps up. Oh my god, his face again. Look at his face. A blush creeps up my cheeks yet again, and I don't miss the way his lips tilt at my reaction. You be careful too. I would hate it if I got in the way and I whacked you or something. Oh, I will be careful. She packs a mean punch. I learned that the hard way. So laughing, even if it's just a little forced, we both stand. I watch for a minute or two as he heads back to the stage, pulling some guy back by the arm and stopping Aya's fist mid-punch with a raised hand. Deciding it's probably best not to get involved in whatever is going to happen next, I slid past that dirty red curtain and back into the club. And there's only one place I haven't been yet, and I'm curious to find out how Bash and Ryona are amusing themselves. Sidling around the dance floor, sidling? I think it's just sliding across the dance floor once more. I've made it to the curtain separating the final room from the rest of the club when I feel a sharp, pointed nail tap me on the shoulder. Ooh, and who can that be? I guess we're gonna find out in the next episode. So let me just save my progress here. Yeah, I'm gonna just override the save. And I really enjoyed this episode. It was like super fun. We learned a little bit about June. I'm still not sure what exactly happened to him, but it's something very, very bad, and I'm going to like maybe look into it on like the internet in the future. But I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So maybe we're gonna find out later on in the next episode or in episodes after that, because I'm definitely gonna finish this game. I really, really enjoy it. And once again, thank you so much to the creator, to the creator team who made this game. They are really amazing. I first, I'm gonna be completely honest, I first thought this was gonna be like completely cringe, but I was so wrong. Like, this game is so well made, and the story is very, very interesting. It really is written very well, and yeah, I enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next episode, I guess. Please subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you would like to do that. I would definitely appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.